Hello everyone, welcome to the Avench Talk Show. Through this podcast, we want to enlighten our viewers to understand the world of embedded system, IIoT, firmware development, and also about business and entrepreneurship. In our first episode, we have Anuroop, the CEO of AvenchSystem. AvenchSystem has been developing embedded system projects, firmware development projects, industrial automation, IIoT, and have also done a lot of path-breaking projects in US and Canada. Welcome Anuroop to the Avench Talk Show.
Thank you, Ganesh.
Yeah. So to begin with, we have in this podcast we'll be going through the journey of Avench. But I want to start this entire episode by understanding your journey. You come from a very humble beginning, regional language school, coming to Bangalore. So how that journey has been?
Okay. Thank you for that question. First of all, I never expected that question from you. But I don't know whether that is a humble beginning. But then I'm sure I've not envisioned to be on an entrepreneurial role until my college days. My childhood was very normal. I'm from a village called Chala from Kannur district, from Kerala state, India.
Okay. It's the northern part of
Kerala. Northern part of Kerala.
Okay.
Very usual, and I've been studied up to my 10th grade in government school.
Okay.
And then 12th in government school, and then moved to Bangalore.
Mm-hmm.
And in all my 12 till my 10 plus 2 studies, I was in regional language, that's Malayalam.
Okay.
It was very difficult when I moved from there to for the English medium.
So were you topper till 12th or?
Till 10th.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I was not a very studious kid as such, but then I used to score good marks.
Okay.
But not like a first bench student.
Okay.
I was always kind of naughty.
Okay.
But then it gave me a lot of bad reputation as well. But then along with that, I used to I was good in my studies, which especially some subjects which I like, I go through in very detail.
Okay.
So when I came to Bangalore, it was difficult because I know to write and read in English. I never knew how to speak in English.
Okay.
And all of a sudden you were put with a lot of other language people, and you have only English as a medium to communicate.
Right.
It was very difficult in the beginning, but then you will have to. So people say, right, until you put it in the water, you will never learn to swim, right? Yeah. So we were put into that, and then somehow we got it.
Okay.
And then it got.
You used to watch a lot of English movies. Usually, that's the tendency, right, to learn English.
Never.
Okay.
After my college days, I started watching English movies.
Oh.
Till then, whichever is coming on Doordarshan or something, it comes in. That's all.
That was
nothing. No.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all.
And also, whenever I've spoken to you, you have had a lot of learning from your karate, which I think you missed in the starting of the part. But the karate has been a great part of your life, right? From your childhood, you have been into karate and martial arts. What impact has that given you in your journey so far?
Yes, I was. I would say I was curious on everything. Which I feel mysterious. Or how does it work? That used to always drive me from childhood.
Okay.
And karate had influenced me. Yeah, maybe I can say the Bollywood actor Akshay Kumar's first movie was released at that time. He was like action hero at that. And I saw he performing martial arts. And I was fascinated with that. I wanted to learn.
Okay.
And luckily I have one of my older cousins who was teaching karate. That's how I got into that.
Okay.
But then, as I said, I was a good student when I wanted to learn something. So I liked the subject. And by 10th standard, I was the first degree black belt.
Oh,
then.
That's quite fast.
Yes, it is not fast. It's like 4.5 years.
Okay.
Almost close to 5 years it took to reach there.
Okay.
And yes, that had slowly inculcated patience, discipline, resilience, all these characters inside me. It's not very, it wasn't being told that, okay, you will get all these things. But somehow when you reach, after practicing of 5 years of things, you will get to reach there. You get a gracefulness. So today I understand the science behind this.
Okay.
Why is it so?
Okay.
But then,
can you briefly tell us what is the science, like how, so that the viewers can also try to inculcate the same?
Yeah. So in first 4.5 to 5 years, until you reach to first dan black belt, you will only learn kicks and punches in different combinations of same. There are only hardly 5 types of punches and 6 types of kicks. That's all. You don't need 5 years to practice the same thing. But the change is that practice on every day makes it a difference. You become you become a lot of worse with the same exercise. You will even get it even while sleeping. So it becomes your natural reflex, right? So what happens is, when you consciously think and do something, that has a way to, that has a timeline. And when you subconsciously or unconsciously do the reflex, the same thing, that is around 40,000 faster than what you think and do. So it's like you know to block a punch or kick, and you practice it for 5 years, the same thing. You're faster than what you can even think. Right? So that the reflex comes automatically.
Got it.
That is totally out of your control once you get it unconscious or subconscious, right? So that is something and to reach there, you need to train the same thing again and again by seeing what I've seen. Almost all my friends who have joined in the class in the beginning, after 6 to 8 months or 1 year, nobody was there. Only 3 or 4 people were there who wanted to take the journey. And even after 3 years, nobody was there. I was the only person who reached up to the black belt. But then rest of all the sun dropped. They had different reasons to do that, right?
Correct.
So that is when I felt I only wanted to reach the black belt. I don't know how. So whatever master says, I'll just do it. Nothing, no questions asked. So if he says the same punch again and again for every year, I would do the same by trusting his words. That's nothing else, because he has done the things in the past and he has crossed that position. So I just wanted to follow him, and I know that if I follow him, he'll make me to reach there. That's all.
So basically, what I understand is having the perseverance, being consistent in your efforts, and putting your head down and working with the right guru or the right master can bring enormous change in your life. It looks small in the beginning, but the results are way to what you can even expect to think over the period of time.
So the basic thing. So today I'll understand, if you want to be successful, go in any area, you go catch a person who is successful in that area, and then just surrender to him, whatever he says, because he knows it. Pay him whatever he wants and surrender to him whatever he says, because he knows how it has been. Because every person who is successful, they might have gone through a difficult stage. They all have to go through this discipline. They all has to go through this perseverance. Either that is in karate, or it is in bodybuilding, or if it is in entrepreneurial, any area. Success doesn't come easy. If it was easy, everybody would have had it. No, it's not that way, right? Correct. So if you want to be that, you just don't apply your mind. Go surrender to somebody who has done it in the past. So just do what they say. Then don't try to put your logic why is he saying this. No, just do that till the time frame what he says, and do that.
Correct.
Be a good student and do that. So that's the whole thing what I believe.
It's just that put your heads down and be consistent and have that single focus.
Yes. So this is what this has helped me in building that resilience when you hit the roadblocks in the entrepreneurship and all of it. It helped me a lot that I know I'm going in a path and it is expected to fail a lot, but then you have to get up and fight. That's all.
Yes, we'll come back to your entrepreneurial journey a little later.
Okay.
But before that, I also want to understand from you, when I've spoken to you, you have always taken the unconventional path, right? Like after your engineering, I believe you took some small company rather than joining some MNC, and there is a lot of stories behind that. Your second company, you were paid little lesser than the first company, and all these things.
Yep.
So what made you take that? Because that's very unusual, unconventional. Not everyone walks that path. What made you choose it?
Today when I look back, I don't say I had a greater vision about entrepreneurial or anything, but I had a clear idea that I want to enjoy what I'm doing. If I don't enjoy something, then I'm not doing that. Clear. Okay. So when I got selected to my first company, and so during my college days, I loved programming of microprocessors and microcontrollers. And as I said, I was curious to know this. I went very deep, and then I was good in that. So, and I got different companies interviewed, and few people were there. So almost all my colleagues, classmates, were placed in different companies. Mostly was into technical support and stuff like that.
But MNCs. Okay.
Stuffs. But then I got this chance. They said they won't pay. They'll just give you a stipend of 800 rupees. This is in 2003 what I'm talking about. 800 rupees doesn't even fix your bus pass. Okay. But then, and I'm from a middle class background from my family, and I still have a lot of financial trouble at back my home. I still have to support my family and all, right? So it was not, I'm not a rich kid at all, but I still chose to go with the company who gave me a programming job.
Okay.
Or embedded software engineer job.
Okay.
Than a desktop support or a network engineer job.
Okay.
I went ahead with that. It was difficult, but I enjoyed it. First 6 months, it was difficult to go through, but then friends helped me a lot. Once after that, it was all changed, right? Once you prove yourself, you don't need to
worry about
anything. And then, see, you love that, right? You enjoy doing that. I enjoyed staying late nights in the office. I remember the first project when it came to the peak critical time. It was 4 months continuously. I was in the office, like night around 2 o'clock. I leave to home. My friend comes to pick me up.
Okay.
And then we go home, eat dinner, late dinner, and sleep. And morning, like 10 o'clock, I'm back into office. Nobody told me to come and work like that. But it was out of my interest. Because I was curious why this is not working, which I did, right?
Okay.
And it made me do that. I lost my first Christmas vacation just because of this.
Okay.
Because all my friends went, I did not go.
Okay.
Because of this. So, and that was for a reason. Nobody told me to do that, but I did it because I wanted to prove, or I wanted to make it work. That's all simple. It went through like that, and after that. See, such situations happens in life many at times. So it was always my choice. Even when I moved to the second company, I was around 4 years. I was in the first company, and the second company was again a Silicon Valley startup from Stanford. The CEO was Stanford person, and he had a lot of patents and stuff like that. And then they interviewed me, and I got to know that I'll be the only software engineer to support in India, and I was the first employee of that if I got selected.
Okay.
I was more than happy that I'll get that job fully, right? It's not and my boss will be sitting in the US or whoever can suggest me to work, right? So I was more happy, and then I applied to that, and then had a couple of interviews, and then I cleared it, and I joined to that startup because I was liking to take more responsibility.
How was the work between these two companies? Were it on the similar lines, or it was more challenging in your second company?
The second company was more challenging.
Okay.
Yeah, because it is not just embedded software work.
Okay.
It included like the company was into an SoC platform, a chip. They were making a semiconductor chip, and then I had to write the boot code of that.
Okay.
And then application on top of that, put that into different operating systems like Linux and or Windows as well.
Okay.
And to show this to customers, I have to make an GUI or application for showing this to customers and integrate with different different customers. So when you say for the software that 8 to 10 years which I worked in that company, almost I've done from boot code to application in all levels.
Okay.
Right. So that gave a great experience and great satisfaction as well. Once you've done that chip, this is working now, you have to test it. First, I initially started with test software creation. Then I made test automation setup so that one click, all the things will run, and then 3 days after you'll get a report.
Oh, okay.
So all of this I could do hands on.
Okay.
And I was very clear why I'm doing it all. So that is the major part. So most of the time, engineers get into doing the software without understanding why they are doing it. Why are they doing it, or what is the significance of his code in the bigger project? They don't know. They are just following the.
They just want to finish the task
what their managers has given, right? So that was a great direction. So when you know why for everything, then you're very clear. You don't need to prove anything else, right? Anybody asks question, you know why this is so. And why did you select this code? Why did you select this? You know it very well.
Correct.
Okay. And it all happens through failures. You'll have n number of failures. You'll have to.
They say that failure is a stepping stone.
Yes, very much.
Without failing, you cannot reach, because even what you say, if you have got the code first at the first instinct.
I always say this. If you have, the example is like in my college days. Sir had asked, teacher has asked us to write a program for the first basic days, C programming days, I guess, to do a Fibonacci series. It's pretty straight. All the studious kids, everybody has. I was a very average or below average kid, I could say, in the class. Everybody has got, many of them has gotten first shot. Many of them copied it, right? I wrote my own code, but it never worked. I took many tries. I didn't even know. It threw up a lot of errors, syntax, semantics, that error, this error, logical error, a lot of error. And I sat and debugged a whole night. And next day when the teacher asked questions, I was clear, why are we doing this?
Okay.
Or why is this error? Or how do you deal with such errors?
Okay.
But many of them could not clear it because they just blindly know the logic, and then the first shot has worked. So I still believe those errors or those challenges is the one which made me much more understanding of the concepts or trying it out in a detailed way. Correct. Right? Otherwise, I would also first shot it worked and then gone. Right? I wouldn't have reworked it at all.
Correct.
Right. So that happens everywhere in the life. So this is.
But in this entire journey that you were taking, right, the unconventional path, did you in the modern world there is a term called as FOMO, fear of missing out. So you never had, because I think many of your peers or many of your friends would have been earning in lakhs of packages, and you would probably not be in that level. So there was never a FOMO that people are enjoying, people are having, probably they're enjoying a lot of luxury in life, but whereas you are still have to be contented with what you have. So you never had that fear?
It wasn't a fear for me.
Okay.
I never thought in that way. Okay. I believe what I have is what I have.
Okay.
I'm self-contented for what I have. Okay. But yes, when it comes to people who depends on you, parents, my wife, she keeps saying, see, look at your friends. What are you doing? You're not taking a vacation. You're not doing that. It comes. Even family, parents keep saying, why are you not investing in something that is and keep saying. And I give answers to them, and then and there, that's it.
Okay.
Then it doesn't go into my heart, or I don't think that again kept it aside, because I know if I listen to my heart and do what I wanted to do, somewhere in the place, I'll win. Okay, because I'm actually trying to provide. Today, I understand in terms of entrepreneurship of business and all of it. Today, I understand what people needs. Right, and everybody has their own belief system.
Correct.
Right, my parents had a different belief system. But their era, this is the belief that you have to earn and good, and then invest in something. And later, maybe this generation, right, Gen Z, you see, they don't even care about all this. They just want to do what they want to do, right? Simple. But then I feel somewhere it has to be matching. See, I wasn't failed as a husband because I had taken care of family even when I was running behind my passion or what I wanted to do.
Correct.
Yeah, that part at least I have to take care. If I do that, I would have lost my family, right?
Correct.
So that part definitely we have to take care. But then, yes, at times it made me think, oh my God, what I'm doing. But then I quickly come back. It's all. Is it making me happy? Yes. Okay, even if I do it today, do I have a regret? No. Then close it. Go move on. That's all.
Correct. If there's no regret, then you have no problem in life. You just have to keep moving ahead.
See, I've not given any false promise to anybody.
Correct.
Yeah? So whatever I can do, That's it. Yeah.
True.
That's all.
So in this journey, like 14 years of startup culture, where I think you were hustling around, doing everything end to end. You had your team and probably almost everything under your control. And then you go to an MNC called the company called Microchip. But probably things are more process oriented, where you have your restricted control. How was that cultural shift, and how did you take that?
Yeah, I definitely understood it is not my forte, or this is not for me, because as you rightly said, it's a lot of process oriented. There is nothing to apply your mind. I mean, in the way which I see, right? There may be. But then, even if you apply your mind and come up with something, you need to have a good level of people's approval to do any change or try it out. Because any company which has already reached to scaled up, right? They will generate profitability just by implementing process only. And the company's stability is in implementing that process irrespective of people.
Oh, okay.
So maybe R&D people will get sometimes or some thinking to do something, right? But none of the other people will not be able to do anything extra. This is what I believe, or I've seen, right? Very minimal things you can do. Okay, within this framework, what you can do is what you can do. So rest, nothing can be done, because otherwise, if the company is not able to generate the product in the structured way, then where does company make money? How does company become efficient?
True.
And you're just part of the company. Yes. And you can be replaceable anytime.
Yeah.
That's it. So that makes you insignificant, which I didn't want it to be.
Okay. So how many years were you part of Microchip?
Almost like 2 years, that's all.
2 years.
By the time I was... so one thing is you get financially settled. All your financial problems will get solved when you get into, on an MNC or a bigger package companies. But then, what are you trading it with? It always matters.
Correct.
And then within 2 years, I was clear that that is not the path which I wanted to take.
So that's when the swing happened from a high paying to a startup to starting your own entrepreneurial journey with Avench. And the point that accidental CEO, I'll come to that a little later. I want to understand how did that term come. But why have you been always against kind of a money? Because you had a high package, probably a better settled life where you had all the luxury with you. And then again, you wanted to say that, no, I want to go back the fighting path.
Okay.
And how did Avench happen?
Okay, it's not that I don't love money. I wanted to, but not at the trade of my freedom and the things what I do.
The freedom is the key
thing. The key, right?
Yeah.
And if somebody gives me the second company which I worked with, if that company would have been successful and taken off, I wouldn't have started the third company. I would be happy there because I would be like one of the key person who is heading the organization or something. Yeah,
correct.
Could be, right? And yes, money is very much required, but at what is that I can trade off, right? I would like to trade off the value which I create rather than the time which I'm giving to them. So I would like to do that. So now, if you really look at from Microchip's point of view, it gave me a lot of financial freedom. To clear my earlier gifts. It doesn't mean that at some point I started feeling that no, I don't want to do this anymore. So first of all, the bigger challenge was my office. Basically this is in Bangalore, and then office is in Whitefield, and then my house is in Electronic City. It takes and there are cab facilities since it is an MNC. They come and pick you up and go there. Minimum 1.5 hours going and 3 hours. You can't just sleep in the cab, and then you do all other sort of things. But then you somehow, if you are a person who really value for the time, right?
You will never do that.
You can't do that for a long time, right? And then I was not feeling comfortable with that, and then I took it, and I'm telling you to get out of that comfortable zone and get into something very uncertain. It needs to have a lot of courage.
You're married by then?
I'm married, my wife was not working, and I had a kid of 1 year old.
Okay.
Yeah, that time. And I didn't think of much. Yes, I had a lot of fear. Oh, what will happen?
Mm-hmm.
But then when we started this, I was to get to that accidental CEO, right? I never planned to become a CEO or run a business.
But how did the Avench journey start, if you can?
Right. So during even during microchip times, that startup time, I had a lot of time which was free. Generally, when that SoC chips tapes out, right? You get a lot of time until it's come back.
Okay.
There's nothing else you can do. Once the chips come back, only the testing starts, because it's a startup and we are only focused on that. Right? So I had free times. That time I used to do a lot of freelance work, and then I was good with. So I could somehow clearly understand that I can provide more values to customer. Right? I mean, entire software. It's not that like one piece of it or something.
Okay.
So I would wanted to do that more, and then I asked to one of my friends, so when we started Avench, there were 5 founders. All of us, everybody was from the same college, all my seniors and classmates, right?
Okay.
So we had taken a decision. In 2015, we started the company, and the main person who started the company was Sajid.
Okay.
He is like my mentor and then a great friend. So he started the company. It was his vision, and then trust me, all 5 of us were technical people. The only person who knows the business or sales was Sajid.
Okay.
We just have to believe him. There's no other go, right? And rest of all was technical, and all were comfortable in doing technical. But he went unconventionally from technical job to a sales job. He was working in Intel.
Okay.
Sales job to start this. He had a great vision. So he went to sales to learn this to start his own business, right?
Okay.
So, and then we all helped together, because I was doing software, he was into hardware.
Okay.
So all these people came together and started the company.
Okay.
In 2015, I did not join.
Okay.
I was still with Microchip at that time.
Okay.
So Sajid and other partners are in, and 2000 and when I joined, I have no clue that we will be how a startup would be. I mean, I've never tasted a thing like a salary will not be there, or but it'll be minimal salary. But that minimal thing would be coming in is what I was always
the
thinking.
time frame that it was to come.
Yeah. Then joined to this company on 2016 July as a last founder to leave and join. But then from there, the company was doing bad.
Okay.
All things turned around. We had a lot of Indian clients, and then demonetization happened.
Okay.
A lot of chaos, and then within 6 months, by December of 2016, Sajid and we had a meeting, and then we decided we'll somehow dissolve. That's a whole thing, because Sajid was very clear he cannot run the operation and sales and business everything together. Right. So, and we all know it's only technical. Then being curious, I was keeping on asking questions to Sajid. So at the end of the session, he said, "Why don't you become the CEO?"
Okay.
I said, literally, I don't know what is the role of a CEO. Because I never bothered, or I never wanted to do that. But then he said clearly that he is stepping out. He don't want to do that.
Okay.
He would like to do more of a sales and stuff. Then
I
said, and I didn't want to see. It was only 6 months I started, and I didn't want to quit just like that. Right. So I said, I will stand as a CEO, provided if I'm the one who is controlling the back end, how the projects are being delivered, how the customers are getting satisfied. That I can do, because I've been a freelancer and I was doing it earlier. I can do that. But Sajid, you be the face of the company, right? The sales and marketing. And I'm 200% sure that I was an introvert. Even today, I cannot talk to a new person just like that. Right? Where Sajid can get onto a stage to 100 people and then...
Okay. So you said that you made Sajid the face of the company. You took over, making sure that all the products are delivered, the customers' delight is kept in place. So after you took, I believe Sajid trained you, you had told. So how did that process happen? And how has the growth been? Like, after you took over, what was the situation and how the growth of Avench has been over the past 8 years?
2017 January is what I became officially as a CEO of Avench.
Okay.
Trust me, 4 to 5 months I could not sleep. The same symptom, same patterns.
Okay.
Right? This is something you put a bee in my head, right? I don't even know. It's total uncertainty for me. Like, what is it I have to do? Right? And there was no coaches or there was no mentor for me to guide me at that time. But then, Sajid had helped me a lot. What a CEO should do and all that. Right? Then still I started reading books. I never used to read books prior to that.
Okay.
Because I wanted to win this uncertainty. The only way I know this, somebody has already written the books, how to become this and that things. I started reading it.
Okay.
And Sajid also taught me all serious do meditation. You should start doing it. He showed me something.
Okay. So that was your part to meditation?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I have experienced that as well. I was trying it out. But then that sleepless nights, that is what I enjoy. That's what I'm feeling that now. Right? When I turn back, and if there is no thrill, there is nothing. I can. I don't want to do a monotonous job. Right? But I'm very good. So during that initial time, we built the company again, and then tried many things, many combinations, many experiments.
Experiments as in like
including as a project manager and separating some responsibility from project management. And
okay.
That is one side, operation side. On the other side, sales. We try to outsource some part of lead generation and outsource sales agents and stuff like that. And then we try to move our focus to only US and Canada rather than getting into Indian customers. So those kind of experiments were done. And first 2 years did not fly well.
Okay.
But then third year, 1920, we made a good profit, and it was around 14% EBITDA.
Okay.
We could get that. So that was the first success we tasted.
Okay. Then what was that thing? How did that first success happen? Like, did a new client come in?
No, we had the lead generation team implemented in our office. That's the calling team and stuff like that. And then we had a couple of visits to US where our customers is. And then we could directly build relationship with them.
Okay.
I was sure, we were technically strong. So once we build the relationship with people, as many people we are in front of, they will, once they taste the work with us, they will generally stick to us. But then, how do I make myself available in front of those people? That was not known at that time. Sajid knew, but I was not known.
Okay.
So me and Sajid was traveled to US many places and then tried to bring more customers, and then it became good. But then during that time,
was it like direct knocking at their doors, or like
we had a lot of references?
Okay.
We had some agents who were helping us from the US through our references, and then that's how we got bigger projects everywhere.
Okay.
Going good. And during pandemic, and that is when the pandemic hit, right? After we declared the profit, pandemic hit.
What was the impact of pandemic on the business?
Very difficult, because we have opened a sales office in the US at that time.
Okay.
And a lot of nitty-gritties came in, a lot of legal things has to be done and things like that. But then we couldn't do it by sitting here.
Okay.
So
you had to travel to US for doing that. Okay.
So 2020 March is what pandemic and then hit, and then we had to shut down. I mean, our offices has to be shut down. Operations was less then. Since it is embedded systems, people have to come to office and test the code and stuff like that. It was very difficult to move around at that time, which actually delayed a lot of things. And it has actually put us a lot of financial trouble at that time.
Okay.
And then we had to rely on some banks and stuff like that, and NBFCs. There were a lot of wrong decisions in that.
Okay.
But then I think that those are the wrong decisions which made me feel that that was supposed to be at that time.
Okay.
Now I know why it's wrong, right?
Correct.
And then we went down again. couple of years, and then
so just you made profit, and then the very next year you had to hit and that was the rock bottom, I believe.
Next year was the rock bottom. First year it went a little down. Next year went really down because that is when the 2021 was the hiring boom happened, and then all our good employees had left because they get a better job with higher paying price, and then we were still a startup, struggling to get to a stable state. I can comment on anything of that. If my people want to have a better, safer place,
that's their choice.
No, I cannot stop them.
Correct.
Not being better, right? I'm not able to provide, they should be, right? Correct. But then whoever had that willingness to fight along with us, they're still with us. So that's a choice everybody has to make.
Correct.
Right? And it's always risk versus reward. So
correct.
If you want to risk, then let's try it out.
Correct.
That's the whole point.
So you had a good number of clients during pandemic, but you did not have the team to execute them.
Yes, that was the second wave of COVID, and then we really shattered down.
And what was the impact on the business? Like, where the US clients, they were upset and they withdrew their projects?
Many of the clients had stopped outsourcing projects when the pandemic hit itself. A lot of them holded a lot of their R&D projects and new projects. Right? So that put us into trouble. Some people were continuing, that was going on, but still we were not, the major problem was we were not able to generate new business because we can't travel, because calling doesn't work, because nobody sits in the office. You have only the direct
directory numbers,
and you can't reach them, right?
Correct.
That put us into difficult state. And then somehow after that we had a customer from Germany, and then the second customer from Germany wanted to invest in us. They came up with a proposal.
But before that, I also want to understand, right? Like, tough times, because of course in this podcast I'm not sure how much you will be able to convey, but when we have spoken in person, you have told how tough it was the time. Like, you have told your stories, the way you discuss with your friends to take care of your family and all the other things that you have been telling. But in this tough situation, because right now all this while probably you were alone, and it was only you being hit more, and probably a little bit of your parents, where you would support them to an extent. Now that you are extended, your family has also come in, you have a daughter who has now grown to a certain age, and there's a lot of more responsibility, and the fear is even more, right? So even under such a tough situation, such a risk situation, what kept you going? Like, you would have just thought for yourself that I can shut down this operation and go to a job. That would be one of, probably people would have thought in that way also. But having all these things, what kept you, what kept you going in this tough phase that was?
One thing, my family, wife had supported me well going through this, because most of the things I don't tell to her, because what I'm going through is inside my head, and then whole night being awake, she wouldn't even know. I might go to bed, but she won't even know whether I'm sleeping or not, because I keep listening to some audio podcast or reading audiobooks or something, because I don't get sleep. Then there is something running inside my head. I don't get sleep, right? And she supported me well during that time, and parents also supported. I would say maybe around a year or so I couldn't take my salary, but I paid rest of the team well. With these things happened. We have taken a lot of NBFC loans and stuff, which even for 24%. Interest rate. Way too high. But there was no other go for me at that time, right? At the last moments, I felt, at some point, I started feeling like I have nothing to lose, right? I was feeling like even I don't have anything in my hand. You don't need anything to live on the earth. That is somehow some provision thought came to my mind, and then I was like feeling easy. What will happen? Nothing is gonna happen. Nobody can kill me. Somebody kills me. I don't have any regrets even today. Right? I didn't do a false promise to anybody. People expect from me. That's their choice. Right? But then I didn't promise and not deliver. I'm promising, I'll deliver. That's all. And I'll do promise only things which I can do. Correct. Not. At least if I'm not able to, I don't want to do a false promise and then just to get to my aim, I don't do somebody else. Okay. So this is clear. And during that time, it started affecting the cash flow situations at home.
Okay.
Paying the fees of my kid. I paid it using credit cards and stuff, and that also got blocked. There was time. And then at the last moment, I called one of my friends and then told him that I'm going through a difficult situation. The only thing what I wanted to ask is I wanted to request him that can he take care of my kids' education? And he was embarrassed. He was like, "Why do you even ask me that?" And that was the answer from him, and that gave me a lot of confidence.
Okay.
Even if I'm totally broke, right? I can send these people to him their hometown, their parents or something.
Okay.
And then he'll take care of their education. Yeah, I'm sure I'll bounce back. It was a bad time. That's all. And I know that. And the same question I asked to my sister-in-law as well.
Okay.
She's also one of a good friend of mine.
Okay.
She also said the same thing. Why do you even ask me that? That's my job. I'll do it.
Oh, okay.
And I'm safe. Rest all, I know every creature in this planet has their own
time,
their own
journey,
and then their own freedom to earn their food.
Correct.
That will happen. That will fall in place.
Correct.
Yeah. That made me feel free. Then fight again. Right? It was very difficult time. You really look at from outside, but I wasn't feeling that burn.
Okay.
But I was feeling even when. So it's like that is where I really appreciate this martial arts and other things. Helps you being resilient, right?
Okay.
I know when I get a hit on my face, I get quick response gets onto my thing, and then it all gets emotional, right? But once you reach to a certain stage that you get calm and controlled.
Okay.
You know that face is just another body part. That's all. You don't need to have that ego. Okay, he slapped me on the face. Once you get to there, it's not easy to get there, but it's simple. You can practice something, you will get there. Once you get there, it's not easy. Then what will happen?
Okay. So you carry this credibility, right? You have like the resilience or the consistency, or put your heads down and work attitude, and you carry a lot of values by yourself where you have brought in a lot of value to the company also. How have you passed on this value to your teammates or the people working under you or the entire organization as such? How that value has been passed to them so that they can also be another Anuroop or another version of Anuroop or even better version of Anuroop himself?
So these, I would still say these values has been gained through the martial arts. So, because every time when I fail, I know that this is not the end of it. I'll get up and find another way to win. That's all. Right? And few other things, right, which was taught to me by my master. He's 10th degree red belt in karate.
Okay.
Like very aged person, but he moves faster than me even today. Okay. So he showed me, he taught me in the earlier days, before like the times, right? When you, it's all how you respond to the situation, or block or attack. Your block can be an attack.
Okay.
That's how we have been taught, right?
Okay.
One block, I mean, in terms of karate, right? When you block a punch or a kick, that block has to be so powerful that should break like other person's leg. So it should be like your block is an attack. So same way, how you respond to the situation matters a lot.
Okay.
The same way when you get a hit. So I had a problem earlier that when I get hit on my face, or something click, then I'll not be me. So he'll be totally different person, right? And I get furious, angry, out of it. And then once in the fight, I really got hit on my face, and then I lost the fight. So that night, when I was going back home, he was the one who used to drop me at my master told me that, see, it's like you get a hit on your back, right? You did not feel anything. It did not turn you off, flip you. Then why is it on your face? Why don't you treat this as another body part? Face is
for another body part. That's all. Once you treat it that way, it's the same. You got a hit, yeah, that is a fact. How do you respond? Do you want to totally go out of control and react to it, or calm down, look for where you want to attack, then okay, that gives a lot of. I mean, he told it in a very casual way, but then that made a profound change in me. From there onwards, I know whatever may be the situation, the thing is, it's under my control. How do I get affected is my control. Most of the time, 80% of the time, even in college when fights happen and stuff happen, it's all under your control. How do you react? You're gonna get hit, that's okay, but if you are also getting hit and a bigger, different kind of people,
If you react, then
no, how to react is a quick decision which you have to make depending on the situation.
Correct. You want to go out of control and react.
If it is something like you are anyway getting killed, if you don't react, you'll get killed. Right? But you know that this reaction, this can be done. It is not a difficult situation. Hold on, then it may go that way. That may be good. But in a situation where you are going to get killed, you have to react. Then there is no. Then reaction is attack and kill. That's it. That quick decision
you need to take.
That is something which I got it from the martial arts. Is what I truly believe in.
Okay.
That is in terms of how you personally grow, right? How you personally control the environment, what you have. But then in terms of value systems, what I felt is a lot of it came from being punctual in the classes. And I teach karate as well.
Okay.
So I try to impart the same knowledge what I have with people, right?
Okay.
And the only people who grabs it. Otherwise, it is just another information is everywhere, but what you take is most important, what makes you changes. So, in terms of value system for the company, right? We coined it as a P-track, as a value system.
PTRAC.
Okay. And C is customer delightfulness.
Okay.
So we see that delightful customer experience is the key for winning a successful business, becoming a successful and stable business, sustained business, right? And what is that we have to do? First, 4 things. One is passion and transparency. These are the 2 things every individual at the company has to get it. You need to love your job. If you don't love your job, don't come. I generally say that if you are looking forward for a 9-to-6 job, and this is kind of a startup where you are trying to scale up, you're not fitting it for here. Correct. If you want to build a career along with the company, join. Correct. So this is going to be a journey together, and I want to count on you until to that. Now we are a small company, and my aim is to become a 200 people company or more than that, right?
Okay.
And constant, and my aim is to make a stable company, so that not me, it is not dependent on me. It's dependent on people who stand for it, right? So it's not single person dependency or anything.
Correct.
So anyone has a problem, rest of people has to support. So for that, all of you has to love your job.
Correct.
Second thing is transparency. I've been transparent in my all transactions with the company, even to the customers. Even if I can't do something or something is not, something we made a mistake, I would rather, I won't hide it up. I would rather come up with courage and say that, I did a mistake and we'll cover it up.
Correct. What has been the impact whenever you be transparent, right? So when you tell the client upfront that, I have done, things have gone bad from my side. So do you say it in the same direct way, or is there some way you give an approach? What is usually happening?
Any communication for me is what I wanted to say, my intention, the intent to say the words has to be clearly communicated to them. I believe the communication ends when I understand that person got it in the same way what I wanted to communicate.
Okay.
Right? I make sure that he understood the same way. Because I ask questions after that. Do you feel this, or do you see this, and all of it, right? Then I get the cues from that, and then I understand that, okay, he got what I wanted to communicate.
Okay.
And I generally tell any communication is respectful.
Okay.
Right? You can say everything in emotion, and then emotion gets communicated. Your content doesn't. So I would talk to people as much as without emotion, clear, stated what I wanted to say. And I may say the same thing again and again in different ways so that my intention is communicated clearly.
Got it.
Right? So that's all I do. That I with customers or anything. And I would say transparency breeds the trust. Right?
Correct.
Even so, I started seeing that with my kid. Right? When she comes and says something she has done wrong, if she tried to cover up, I know she's trying to cover up. Right? And she tries to come and say that, Papa, I did it. And it's okay. I won't hit or I won't scold her. I wanted to hold her and say that that's okay. We'll do it this way. Right? But the thing is, how many of them do that? Do you have the courage to, without worrying about the impact? So I believe that courage helps you in long-term trust building activity rather than just get an impulsive or maybe you get an impulsive reaction from the customer or from an employee, from a colleague, but that's okay. That is only impulsive, but they will understand why the person has, and they will understand the importance of this honest transaction.
Correct.
Right? So once they get it, then it will be easier for us to, and it makes us also lighter, right?
Correct.
We genuinely wanted to do things for the customer, add value to the customer, but we are also human, we make mistakes. We also do that, but that doesn't mean that we don't correct it. We will try to put an effort to correct it, right? So that is
the transparent part. So the next part?
Next two parts is for the team, right? Basically accountability and the result orientation. It doesn't matter how much effort you put. If you don't have the result what people wanted, then you have failed.
Correct.
So these are the two other things which I hold for the team or leaders, right? And you have to be accountable for what you're doing. I cannot say that, oh, this is my 9 to 6 job, or this is the part first line. If the other person is not taking, you have to automatically take that job and then do it.
Correct.
Right? That's for the leadership trying to get there. So these are the things, because the result is what matters to the customer or the end party.
Correct.
Right? How do you make it? It's up to us. And it needs accountability of that result.
Correct.
That goes with the management team and stuff.
So most of your employees, they work in this model. So
yes, this is what I impart
to them.
Yeah, because, and for that, the basic things is they should feel free in the work.
Correct.
Right? They should not be afraid of trying something new.
Correct.
And we specifically say to my team that we will not blame people if they do something experimental and make mistake. We may call them for a review and talk if they are doing the same mistake again and again.
Correct.
But otherwise, we appreciate people trying out something new and people going way ahead of something which is written in the book and trying it out.
Correct.
So that is where they grow. Right?
Correct.
I want
it
people
helps
better than me in
organization
the
also.
organization,
Correct.
so that I can rely on them. Right?
Correct.
Otherwise, the whole organization will depend on me. I don't want to make it that way. That is not the idea of me starting the business, right? So
Correct.
I want people to take and
Ownership.
run, and they feel the ownership. That's what I want. And that today I do teach them or coach them, trying to get there.
So all your learnings you try to put it to them.
But I don't have a structured way right now. I'm trying to put that as a structured way so that I can train people or somebody else also can train people from what I learned. I'm just going to do that.
Yeah. So coming to the industry, of course, now we've understood what Avench stands for, the ability that Avench has, and the way you have actually grown the organization from struggling to going down, going even further down, and then flying up. In terms of the industry right now, right? Because basically your main focus is on the US and the Canada market, and you want to work with industries over there. So in terms of that, what is the challenges that, when the Western companies, they want to outsource a project to India? Usually, what are the challenges or what are the concern or what is the difficulty that usually exists? And how is that Avench trying to help them out in getting that project or in building that trust for the client that, okay, I would go outsource to India? So how does that entire industry work?
See, I think I would say it's just another company in Bangalore who does the technical stuff. But then we are good at what we do. We don't do many things. Earlier, the first 4 years of our initial company days, we did everything under the company. Then we tried to focus down we tried to narrow down our focus and mostly on the industrial systems on embedded side, like hardware design or firmware design.
Okay.
That's what we do actually for. And today, we try to educate our customer. We try to be a consultant for our customer, so that if they have a problem in the technology domain, we may be able to give more time. Right? We have very senior people with us who can, and very senior and smart people with us who can spend time with the customer. We have a very limited. Since we are small, we are a limited number of people, also limited number of customers, right? Premium services for the customers will be given from the CTO level itself.
Okay.
If you go for a bigger company or a listed company and ask for a technical support, you won't get that from a CTO for sure.
Correct.
You get a mid-level experienced person, and then we'll go through the process and get the things. But then what we provide is a customization of highly technical skills by listening to the customer on the straight. I mean, we may also reach to that person maybe once we reach to 500 employees and stuff. But then before reaching that, I wanted to have very close connection with the customers, and then to take our values, what we provide or what we experience or what is our experience, how we can help our customers to utilize that.
Okay.
That's what we believe we are adding value to.
So, basically does a lot of personalization in terms of providing service or the delight to the customer, where they can be assured that the best of the minds are working with their project, and they can directly reach out probably to you or the higher level in terms of CTO directly on phone rather than navigating through the company.
Exactly. See, I personally have been an engineer for 17 years after my master's in software systems, and I've been doing this embedded systems throughout.
Okay.
Hands-on. So many of the problems when customer talks, I understand from software standpoint of view what is that we have to do.
Okay.
Because as I said, my experience varies from very low level boot code to the application or test automation of the entire thing.
Okay.
And then the cloud connections. So understand the entire thing. So I understand why we have to choose what technologies or what things. So overall spectrum. But then, and I have similar experts in different areas like hardware designing and industrial automation and stuff like that. So for a specific area, if you want to speak to the expert, yes, we have some person who can directly talk. And we 3 or 2 of people get onto a call for a discovery call. We can solve. I'm sure in embedded world, almost
every problem
we can solve. At least we can say what is happening. And we will never say that, okay, these are the problems which I can solve, which we do not have.
Okay.
We are transparent that, okay, we know how to solve this, but we don't have the capability. We would say upfront.
Okay.
Right? So that's clear. And then we can, if we know somebody who is doing that, we can guide them to that. So we're very clear how are we going to deal with the customer. Very clear on that. Yeah.
Got it. So because of the customer delight and the senior leadership being directly exposed to the client or directly interacting with the client, that has given a lot of comforts to all your customers to work with you. Otherwise, US always has some kind of in terms of building that trust in the market over here. So I think because of that, one of the major client you had got was Rotzler, and then that client-customer relationship converted into a partnership where they have invested. So I want to understand, how did that story happen? And especially this happened after you hit kind of a rock bottom, and once they invested and you had a good jump from there. So how did that what's that story?
It's like January 2023, I had our co-founders met, and then I said that we're going to have a very tough time till the end of December of 2023. If we are surviving through that, we will go back. But otherwise, it will be a tough time. People will leave because that is primarily because of the financial burden which we were getting affected due to the wrong decisions which we did in the pandemic times.
Okay.
So that we had to go through, right? And during that time, this Rotzler has come as a customer. They have tried a couple of projects, small projects, and then they like the way we do. And they have this holding company and they have multiple companies under them. They are mainly into industrial sector, pneumatics and hydraulics equipment, stuff like that. They have a lot of products in there, and they want us to be as a partner in their ecosystem as an embedded systems, which everything gets controlled by electronics and software.
Got it.
And they approached us, and then we had negotiation. We had a lot of discussion. And then plus, we got into certain point, and then we got through it.
Okay.
So by June time frame, we got back into a good position. Even they had a bigger project, one of the bigger projects what we are doing, and then that gave us a lot of energy to get back and rebounce back in the teams. By the time we got that boost, we were all good. Last 6 months we have been building the team back, and then going great now.
Great. So you are right now kind of in the elevation
right now
mode.
We are trying to develop the number, and within 2 years we'll develop our number of people.
Okay.
And then trying to expand and getting more expertise in the adjacent verticals.
Okay.
And trying to provide full solution to the customer right now in the specific industrial automation, industrial electronics areas,
and
embedded systems.
Okay.
In terms of software and then hardware design as well.
Okay. What is right now the technology strength that Avench has, and in a year's time, what is the technology strength you're planning to build? If you can just let us know. So the vision of
it's around engineers, almost like 80% of people are engineers. We are around 55 people team right now, and then still growing right now. We have already taken enough space, so that we can accommodate 200 people in that area. So we'll be in 2 years we'll be doubling up to 150 people. And predominantly will be engineering team.
Okay.
The major part of this will be quality engineering team who can work on certain areas.
Okay.
Embedded systems.
Yeah. So it's the focus is mainly on the embedded system, or is there any other verticals that you are?
Right now we are trying to have partnering companies for adjacent verticals, but then having a tight project management role so that we'll make sure our customers' needs are met well.
Okay.
When we take the responsibility, we want to make sure that we do it well.
Okay.
Even if it is with the partnering companies.
Okay.
So we'll do the IoT, web app, and other stuff like cloud engineering and stuff like that.
Okay.
We do that as well, but this is all associated with the
embedded system. Okay. So you'll have a close partnership with them. Oh, that's really great. So it was really great having a conversation. We have come to the end of this conversation. So it was really great the way you have built Avench, the team that you have, and the kind of from hitting rock bottom. So it's a journey by itself, right? So even when I was hearing your story, I've heard this probably a couple of times, but every time when I hear it, it gives goosebumps, and I can really feel that the journey that you have gone through. So it has really been wonderful. So I am looking forward for Avench to grow fast. The way you're saying, like 150 to 200 employees are doubling up in a matter of years' time, and with a lot of new technological expertise that Avench has. So we become big in that terms.
So in general, I just wanted to thank you for giving this opportunity. We have talked multiple times, and the idea of talking this out loud has come to this. And I believe just do what you think you are supposed to do. I mean, it all talk from the heart, right? So when it comes somewhere, it will hit you inside, and then what you're doing is that really making you happy, right? So once you hold on to that, it will just move on. True. Yes. Nice meeting you as well.
Same here.
Yeah.
And for all the people who have been who would be watching this is just the first episode of the Avench Talk Show. We would be coming up with a lot of new topics, and we'll also have a lot of guests who would be expert in embedded system, who will have an industry exposure, and we'll also talk about various projects that Avench has have delivered, the path-breaking projects that we mentioned earlier, how that was delivered, how did the conceptualization of happen, and how was the technological expert that Avench had. So we'll be discussing more on those lines in our coming episode. Until then, stay tuned.